Hi, friends, it's Miss Allie, and I'm super excited because it's time for another writing day. Our learning target for today says, I can plan the elements for a fiction piece of writing. Let's talk about that. We've talked about planning before, and we've talked about the fiction elements. Let's review what we've learned. So we've learned about the who is in the story. We call this the characters. And we've learned about the character traits. Character traits are what the characters are like responsible, determined, kind, serious, dishonest, lazy. We've talked about this. Today we're going to think up new characters with new character traits. We've also talked about the setting of the story. That's the where and the when of the story. Where the story takes place and when the story takes place. Is it in the morning, at night? Is it at a beach? Is it by a campfire? Where and when the story takes place. Today we're going to come up with a new setting for our story. And we've talked about the plot. Remember, the plot is the what of the story. What happens in the beginning, the middle, and the end. It's the first part of the story, the next part of the story, and the last part of the story. Today, we're going to come up with a new plot for our story. So we are going to plan out the elements for a fiction story. In the past, we have called this brainstorming. We're going to brainstorm a new fiction story. And today we're going to plan out all of the parts. So we're going to come up with a setting. We're going to come up with some new characters. And we're going to figure out what those characters do in the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and the end of the story. What the problem is, what the solution is, what happens. So, our directions for today are to draw 5 rectangles on the next blank page of our writing journal. And we're going to label each of the rectangles. So, we're going to make a box for the setting. We're going to make a box for the characters, a box for the beginning, a box for the middle, and a box for the end. Then we are going to plan out our story by drawing pictures and including labels and words for what is going to happen in the story. First, you are going to watch Miss Allie as I plan out my new fiction story. Then you're going to get a chance to plan yours. All right, friends. So I have my writing journal and I have my pencil and I'm ready to get started planning the fiction elements of my new story. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through my notebook and I'm going to flip to the next blank page. And here is the next clean page of my notebook. So I need to put the date. Today is April 23rd, or it is 4-23, and the year is still 2021. 2021. Awesome. Now that I have my date, I'm going to lay out my plan. I'm going to lay it out. So I remember that there was a rectangle here that kind of went like this. That's my first rectangle. That's going to be for the setting. Set, double T, setting. Then there's another rectangle right next door. And that one is for my characters. Characters. So I have my setting, I have my characters, and then underneath there were 3 rectangles. One. These are kind of more like squares. That's okay. 2. That one's definitely a rectangle. 3, like that. So now I have space for my beginning, my middle, and my end. I'm going to write that. Beginning, b-e-g, begin, double N, beginning, middle, mid, double D, middle, end, end. So I have my setting, my characters, the beginning, the middle, and the end. I'm going to start by thinking of a new setting. And I don't know if you know this about me. Some of my friends know this about me. I have been to the Amazon rainforest, the Amazon jungle, and I love the Amazon jungle. It is my favorite place ever. And I really want to write a story about the Amazon jungle. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to draw lots of trees because there's lots of trees in the jungle. Big trees. And I'm going to draw some vines because there's swinging vines in the jungle. There's also a river that goes through the jungle, the Amazon River. So here's my river. And I'm going to write on it Amazon jungle. Amazon jungle. Jungle. Amazon jungle. That's the where of my story. I'm going to think about when it takes place. And the Amazon jungle is really hot. It's especially hot in the summer. And I want it to be hot for the story. I think I want it to be hot. So I'm going to write the Amazon jungle in the summer. So I'm going to write summer. Double M. Summer. So the setting is an Amazon jungle in the summer. Now I'm going to think of some characters. Well, who lives in a jungle? Oh, I got one. I don't know if you can tell what I'm drawing. It's not a person. It looks like a person, but it's not. It's a monkey. I think it would be fun if there was a monkey. I'm drawing some fur on the monkey. There's a monkey in the story. And I'm going to think about the monkey in the story. I think he's a silly monkey. He's a silly, happy monkey. What should we name him? A silly, happy monkey named Bananas. That's what I'm going to write. Double L, E-Y at the end of a word. Silly, happy. App, double P. Happy, E-Y at the end of the word. Monkey. E-Y at the end of the word. Silly, happy monkey named Bananas. 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 And I don't want him to be all by himself. So we need to give him a friend. And you know that I love cats. But this isn't just any kind of cat. Well, let's make him a more ferocious cat. He's not mean. He's just ferocious. That's one of his character traits. In the Amazon jungle, there are jaguars. So I think he's going to have a friend, jaguar. He's a ferocious. He's ferocious. He's also really kind. He's ferocious because he seems scary, but really when you get to know him, he's really sweet and kind. So he's ferocious, but he's also kind. He's a ferocious and kind jaguar. 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 Ferocious and kind jaguar. And we're going to name him, what should we name him? Let's call him Roar. Let's call him Roar. It's his name, so it's going to begin with an uppercase Roar. His name is Roar. And Bananas is this monkey's name, so we should call him, so we need to put it in uppercase. Bananas. So we have our setting and we have our characters. Now let's get into the parts of our story. Our beginning, our middle, and what is going to happen in the story. So I think first, Bananas and Roar are going to meet. So they're meeting in the jungle. So they're going to, so bananas, and say A-N-D. Bananas and Roar meet. Eat in, I-N. In the, T-H-E. Meet in the jungle. And I think they decide to play. I think they're friends. So they decide to play a game. They play hide and seek. They play hide. I, long I, hide. So I need a boss E. I'd play hide and seek. Eek. They play hide and seek. So I'm going to draw our monkey friend. And since this is just a sketch, I'm just going to draw his face. And same with Roar. They're playing hide and seek. They're playing hide and seek. And I think Bananas is going to be the hider. So I'm going to have him hiding in a tree. He decides to hide in a tree. And Roar is using his eyes to look everywhere. He's looking everywhere. He's looking everywhere. Then actually that's what's happening in the middle of the story. In the beginning of the story, they decide to play hide and seek. And then the middle of the story, Roar is looking everywhere. Roar looks everywhere. But here's the problem. He can't find Bananas. That's a problem. Roar looks everywhere, but he can't and find Bananas. That's the problem. He keeps looking. He looks under the tree. No bananas. He looks in the river. No bananas. He looks behind the rock. No bananas. He can't find Bananas the monkey anywhere he looks. But finally, at the end, Roar decides he sees a vine, and Roar decides to pull the vine. He uses his paw and he pulls the vine down. Put an arrow. He pulls it down. But when he pulls it down, he realizes it's not a vine. It's really bananas. Roar pulls a vine. That says vin. Vine needs a boss E. Roar pulls a vine, ant, A-N-D. And realizes, realizes it is bananas. And that's how the problem's solved. He finally finds his friend Bananas. I think this is going to be a really good story. I can't wait to write it. But today's not my day for writing the story. Today is just my day to plan the story. So I've made my setting, I made my characters, and I made my beginning, middle, and end. My direction was to use pictures and words. And in every single box, I have pictures and words. Awesome, friends. Now it's your turn. All right, friends. I hope you enjoyed watching me as I planned out my new fiction story. I can't wait to write about it next week. And I can't wait to see your plans that you come up with in your writing journals. Don't forget to take a picture and upload to Firefly. Bye, friends.